Since we're talking about the curses of Bilam that turned into blessings, I want to go through another one of the blessings that he gave us. And this can be found in verse 24, that it says, Lo yishkav ad yochal teref, vedam chalalim ishteh. He will not rest or lie down till he eats his prey. Vedam chalalim, in the blood of his prey, he will drink. So don't look at the literal sense of the verse, rather what is the instruction that we get here. We spoke before about the importance of Shema, Kriyat Shema Lamita. He's saying the prayer of bedtime Shema. We're gonna, I wanted to talk about it more. I don't know if we're gonna have time. We'll have to maybe do it tomorrow about the whole concept of Kriyat Shema. But one of the major parts of Kriyat Shema is that, first of all, I guard my body when my soul leaves the body at night. How do I guard it? With a double-edged sword. This is a double-edged sword. And for the ones of you who read Kriyat Shema, then of course there's a verse that we say, Hine mitato shel Shlomo. Here is the bed of Shlomo. 60 giborim saviv la, 60 men. Gibor is a hero, but really Gibor is a very brave warrior. Misaviv la, around the bed. Kulam achuzei cherev, they're all standing with a sword, and so forth. This, of course, if you know the story, we're not going to elaborate on that. The story that Shlomo Melech provoked the head of all demons, and he locked him up, and of course the head of all demons, we tried to prevent from saying his name, but nevertheless he told him, you're smart on me when you have me locked up, let's see if you can control me when I'm not locked. And Shlomo Melech thought he can overcome him, and he opened up the cage, and this head of all demons, that his name is pronounced, is written Aleph Shin Daled Mem Yud Ashme, and then die. And so he kicked him. He kicked Shlomo Melech 400 parsaot, 4,000 miles. So he kicked him to China. It took him years to come back to Yerushalayim, and you know the whole story that Shlomo Melech would walk around, and this demon got dressed in the body of Shlomo Melech and sat on the throne. And Shlomo Melech would go like a homeless person in the streets of Yerushalayim, saying, "I'm the son of David." And everybody was like, yeah. Like the guy, Mashiach ben David. Don't take him serious. He was like, "I'm the son of David." No, yeah. How did they notice that something is going on? Because they started noticing that Shlomo Melech is going to the wrong wife at the wrong time. When the wives were having their cycle, and they could see, wait a minute, he's going to the wife in the wrong time. And then they figured out that homeless person that was dressed in rags is Bemet Shlomo Melech, and what they had to do, they had to put the name of Yudke Vavke on the demon. It's a long story, but to make a long story short, that he was later after that so afraid he would sleep with 60 guards around his bed, mipachad balelot, because the fear of what's going on at night. So when I say Kriyat Shema Lamida, I'm putting an army around my body to guard the body. If you would see what's going on around your body at night, you would not say Kriyat Shema Lamita, you would sing it with dancing, and you would say it with all your might, if you would see what's going on around the bed. So this is one of the many reasons why we say Kriyat Shema Lamita. Now when Bilam gives us this bracha, Lo yishkav ad yochal teref, is referring to Kriyat Shema Lamita. Do not go to sleep till, it says, Yuchal teref, meaning eating your prayer, but that's not what it's talking about. Is that when I say Kriyat Shema Lamita, I'm pulling out a sword from, how do you call the house of the sword? Scabbard. How? Scabbard. So in Hebrew, we sing that every day. Arik Harbi, right? When we sing it in Az Yashir Moshe, that they empty the sword from the scabbard. Scabbard. Or sheath. So when I'm saying Kriyat Shema Lamita, I'm pulling a sword out, placing it around my body, but not only to protect the body, is to kill these devils, these angels, these demons that I created with my own sins. So the Talmud says that when I do a sin, I create an angel. Many sins, many angels. And he doesn't call them regular angels, rather Malachei Chabala, angels of destruction. Now, Chabala is not really destruction, Chabala is more damage. As lechabel means to damage. So these angels of Kabbalah is angels that come to damage. How do they damage? They bother you all day long. They take your parnasah, chas v'shalom. They can bring diseases and all sorts of different afflictions, confusions, fears, and anxieties. They come exactly how they sound. But when I say Kriyat Shema L'Amitah, I'm pulling out a sword and I'm like a warrior starting to cut them. Now the teachings of Kabbalah explains the same thing in a different way, saying that when I do a sin, then I create a spiritual entity that we'll call it for now a negative energy. Or the Kabbalah calls it klipa, a husk, or a shell, or a negative energy. But it's the same thing. One can call it an angel, one will call it a klipa. But when I'm saying Kriyat Shema L'Amitah, is when I not only protecting the body, I'm attacking and destroying all these entities. The Arizal says, we're going to learn that in the third quarter of the 40 days, the power of Kriyat Shema L'Amitah, what you can achieve in Kriyat Shema L'Amitah, is that in Kriyat Shema L'Amitah, when you're saying it with the right intention, you kill 1,125 of these angels. Just imagine 5 minutes of reading some text, and I'm like, I don't even know, like a samurai, cutting them all off. I gave once a class many years ago. I think we should learn it more in depth, where I was explaining, based on the teachings of Hasidut, the 5 weapons that we use while we pray. We use weapons to kill the other side of negativity. And when we say Pesukei de Zimra, for example, de Zimra means when I sing. But it also comes from the word in Hebrew, Zemira, chopping off. And we learned that in the last year, if you remember, in Masechet Beitzah, in the Talmud, that we were talking about when you're chopping off things on Shabbat. You remember if you're allowed to or not allowed to? You're not allowed to. If you remember the perot shenoshru, remember that? The fruit that fell down. Anyways, Pesukei de Zimra is I have a sword, and ani zomer, zmira, I cut off. And then of course there's a bow and arrow. Every part of the prayer is a different weapon. Same thing with Kriyat Shema L'Amitah. I have a double-edged sword, and I'm killing all these klipot. Now, if you are a little bit aware of the teachings of Kabbalah, we know that there are 288 powers of klipa. It's called rapach. Rapach means Reish Pet Chei. Reish Pei Chet. 288 of these powers of this tum'ah, of this impurity. Why does it says Lo Yishkav? Don't go to sleep. Ad yuchal, till you eat, meaning you consume taref. Taref is a prey, but it's written Tet Reish Pei. It's one letter over rapach, over this 288, because I have the reish and the reish, the pei and the pei, but in the kochot, the powers of impurity, has the chet. Teref has one letter above. From the chet goes the tet. So I overpower all these power of impurity. So again, Bilam is giving us not a blessing, it's a blessing, but giving us instruction. What do you need to do at night? Now, throughout the day, forget about right now what I accumulated in the last 40 years. Throughout the day, here and there I say some Lashon Hara, maybe I lie, maybe I look to the wrong direction, maybe I forget to pay something by mistake because it's convenient, whatever it is. But I create all these entities that come, I don't want to say the word to haunt because they don't come and haunt, but they come to bother me. So Bilam comes and tells me, don't go to sleep. And Bilam is not saying that, Hashem is saying it through the mouth of Bilam. Don't go to sleep before you eat. Taref is when like a lion, toref, is eating his prey. Don't go to sleep before you taref, when you take with 289 powers of purity, when you overpower the 288 powers of impurity. How do you do that? Very simple. Sit down, read Kriyat Shema L'Amitah. Now when it says Alamita, don't take it literally on the bed, because al means on. A lot of people sit on their bed with a pajama and a teddy bear and they say Kriyat Shema. That's not the way to do it. Al means in Hebrew samuch, right before you go to bed. So don't sit with a pajama on your bed, sit dressed outside the room and read it like as if you're going to war. This is how I'm going to sleep right now. Now, if you do it the right way, then your sleep will be 10 times better because you're going to sleep clean. You're not coming with all this junk on you, especially when at night the soul needs to go up. Like I told you in the morning, the soul goes up, first of all, to write a journal, what it did that day, and then it signs. That after 120 years, when you go to Shamayim, they show you your own journal. That you wrote it, what you did. You testified against yourself. If you do tshuva, you erase it. If you do serious tshuva, you rip the page from the journal. Nobody ever knows. No records. Next thing you do, you're being subpoenaed to testify in other neshamot, other souls' court cases. Either you're being subpoenaed by the defense, if the person did something good to you and you're coming for the person's defense, or the prosecution is subpoenaing you to testify against a person who did something wrong to you, stole from you, hurted you, and so forth. And most important, if you did the right tshuva, then your soul will go at night to the spiritual charger, like you charge your phone at night, then you charge your soul at night. And you receive the shefa, the energy, the abundance, your mission for the next day, your clarity, everything, and then you wake up in the morning and you wake up like a lion. And if you wake up in the morning like a dirty rag, it means that at night your soul was a football for some demons in the heavens. They just kick the neshama, they play with it, and then you wake up in the morning all like, why? Because you didn't get spiritually charged. And many other things. We're going to learn a lot of Kriyat Shema, but now we want to focus on the blessing that came as a blessing through Bilam, is that he says, Lo yishkavad yuchal taref. And when he says, V'dam chalalim ishteh, the blood of his halal is like the soldiers who you killed in a war. Dam chalalim ishteh is that you take all the sparks of Kedusha out of this klipa and you take it back. And that's really what the Arizal explains what happens in Kriyat Shema Lamita. I now sinned, my Kedusha, my godly sparks went to Tum'ah, to impurity, I take it back, I redeem it. That's really a very high level of tshuva. All done with a few words and some text to read from a book. Look how amazing the Master of the Universe. He didn't tell me to go and fast now for 120 days. He told me just read a few texts, a few lines in a book, and you'll be good. And by the way, this is applicable and just as important to women, by the way. Women are obligated in Kriyat Shema Lamita. I don't know who invented the myth that women don't have to pray. Women are obligated in praying. By the way, Sephardi women are obligated to pray once a day. Ashkenazi women are obligated to pray twice a day. Like a man. Now, they're not bound for the time, like a man, but they still have to pray. And Kriyat Shema is not in one of the two, by the way. Women have to say Kriyat Shema Lamita, and if you want to raise your kids to the right path, you make sure that your kids also say Kriyat Shema. My 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, they all say Kriyat Shema. We have to teach them. Now, not necessarily it will affect them, but it's already in their system. That the same way that you brush your teeth before you go to bed, you say Kriyat Shema Lamita. After you prepare the bucket with water next to the bed, you teach your kids from an early stage, it will be part of the system. Like I said, if a person will know the power of Kriyat Shema Lamita, he will not even miss it once. And we will go through also the halacha, because maybe many people say, listen, I am already falling asleep. So say it half an hour before you go to bed. Say it an hour before you go to bed. Just you can't say the blessing that Hamapil Chevle Shena. That you can say right when you go to bed. But now when we want to focus on Bilam is bringing to us divine messages. And he's telling me simply, do not go to sleep till you say Kriyat Shema Lamita, till you take back these sparks of holiness, till you kill the 288 powers of impurity with Taref, with 289 powers of purity, with opening a little book and read a few lines of text. Trust me, that's something that I've been telling people for years. Kriyat Shema Lamita. People tell me I have doubts in Emunah. Kriyat Shema Lamita. I have problems with Parnasah. Kriyat Shema Lamita. I can't find my other half. Kriyat Shema Lamita. What does one get to do with the other? Do it and you'll see. Try it at home. It's one of the most powerful prayers. And you know why it's a way you see that it's so powerful? That most people don't say it. The Yetzer Hara works overtime to make sure you don't say it. He will make you do anything else that you want. Just don't say Kriyat Shema Lamita. It will make you tired, distracted, and the joke here, the irony here, is when it's time to say Kriyat Shema L'Mita, you don't have time or the energy to say. But then you go to bed, and you check your messages, and you're in bed an hour watching junk on Facebook. That's the irony here. So don't let the Yetzer Hara fool you. Take the advice that Hashem gave us through Bilam, apply that. Like I told you in the morning, I will guarantee to you, you'll see a huge change in your pattern of thought, in your behavior, in the way you speak, the way you behave. Things will be much more contained, more calm, more under control. I urge every individual to say Kriyat Shema L'Mita. You will see huge changes in your life.